Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Kyle. Just finished watching the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, so now we're going to do the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view review. It's about 1:53 a.m. So I'm just going to, before I get into this pay-per-view review, I want to talk about the Hell in the location of the pay-per-view. The WWE, did they held the pay-per-view in Orlando Studios Impact Zone? Because that's what it felt like tonight. Because, I mean, that not Orlando, but New Orleans crowd sucked tonight at the pay-per-view. I mean, they were dead. Anyway, so the first match was Sheamus versus Christian. But before the match started, Christian comes out, and as he comes out, we get to see R-Truth and Miz start walking through the audience attendants, having tickets, saying that that they bought tickets to see and watch the show. But quickly, Johnny Laurinaitis and security guards take the Miz and R-Truth and show them out the door and kick them out of the building. So with that, you knew that Miz and Truth, they weren't done, that they were going to come back sometime during the pay-per-view. Then after that happened, Sheamus finally came out and the match started. I thought this was a really good match, especially a good opening match for the pay-per-view. I think it set the tone for back and forth stuff. But Sheamus ended up getting the victory over on Christian. The next match after that was Sin Cara versus Sin Cara. This match, how should I say? This match didn't really live up to my expectations that I had for it. I expected this match to be, like high flying, fast paced type of wrestling. But like I said, it really didn't live up to my expectations. I mean, there was some athletic abilities and some athletic stuff. You got your high flying stuff here and there. At least from the original Sin Cara, you got that. But, there were some botches here and there in the match. The match was just really slow paced and just really kind of dragged a bit. And boy, I tell you, that crowd was dead during that entire match. You heard a little pandering in the background of boring, boring, but that's the only response you got of that entire match. I mean, I don't know if the crowd was confused, that they weren't interested in it, but I mean, that was like, you could hear crickets and pins drop during that match. And I really feel bad for the kids, because both of them are Sin Cara, so it's like Sin Cara, but what Sin Cara are you cheering for? The black one or the blue one? Feel bad for the kids on that note. After that, you get the tag team titles on the line. Evan Airbone versus Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler. I thought this was another great tag team match. Once again, surprised that the crowd really was not responding towards Airbone at all. But anyway, I thought this was another great tag team match. And another good match to set the tone for the show. But Airbone successfully defended the tag team titles against Swagger and Dolph Ziggler. The match after that is Mark Henry versus Randy Orton in the Hell in a Cell. Henry defended the world title against Randy Orton. I thought this match was I thought this was a decent match. It wasn't, I won't say terrible, considering the type of fact the stipulation of this match is Hell in a Cell, so I knew that they were going to use weapons and that sort. So I knew that it was going to be a more of a street fight type of style match more than a wrestling match. And that's exactly what pretty much happened. All in all, not bad. Henry slamming Randy into the steel cage and whatnot. And how it ended was Randy Orton was going to do the putt and kick, but he ended up as he was running into Mark Henry, about to kick him in the head, Mark Henry picks him up and drops him down with World's Strongest Slam. Got the pin, 1, 2, 3. Mark Henry still World Heavyweight Champion. I like how it ended. The match ended, and after that, Mark Henry tried to so-called end Randy's career, but Randy ended up taking the chair and just started slamming him with the chair, and Mark Henry ends up running away, which I really didn't like, because here you have a unstoppable juggernaut like Mark Henry that you've had over the last 2.5 months, and you have him run away like a coward with 3 chair shots he gets from Randy Orton. WWE, you're starting to scare me. After that, you had Cody Rhodes coming out and talking like, he has no breath, talking like he can't breathe. as usual. But anyway, Cody Rhodes comes out with the Intercontinental title, takes it and puts it in a plastic brown bag, brings out a velvet bag. So I'm thinking, oh wow, so we're gonna get a new title. Not so pretty much new. But anyway, Cody Rhodes comes out, bringing back the old 1980 slash early 90s classic Intercontinental Championship title belt with the white strap. Really nice. It was a nice surprise. You know, I'm pretty sure WWE probably felt like the Intercontinental Championship, they're probably saying now that the IC title has lost a lot of its prestige and it's no longer the, prestigious title that it used to be. So they probably figured, hey, let's bring back the 1980s Intercontinental Championship, a belt that's had a lot of history behind it and was held by so many great, legendary wrestlers. Let's bring that back. So, so since it's Cody who introduced or brought back this title, it seems to me that he's going to be keeping the IC title for a while at least, and hopefully he'll bring prestige back to this title belt. But he comes and says, he'll defend this title any place, anywhere. Johnny Ace comes out saying you'll defend it right now in your suit against John Morrison. So we got a little bonus match. This was decent, and for Cody to wrestle in his suit wasn't too bad. Cody Rhodes getting the victory on John Morrison on that successful defending his IC title. Poor Jomo. So I just hope if WWE can bring back an old school classic IC championship. Why can't they make a new WWE championship? I mean, they have to see that does lost a ton of prestige. Anyway, moving on. Here's hoping though. Moving on, you have Kelly defending the Divas title against Beth Phoenix. Before I get into that match, I want to mention two things. One, Kelly is still hot. Two, Eve Torres looks fantastic in jeans. So, Kelly and Beth Phoenix. This was an okay match. This wasn't bad. I don't think it was as good as the one they had at Night of Champions and at SummerSlam, but it was still, a decent match. But Beth Phoenix ended up getting the Glass Slam and finally winning the Divas Championship. So, Beth's back on top. Then after that, you have the main event, which I thought was the best match in the entire pay-per-view. You had a triple threat, John Cena versus CM Punk versus Alberto Del Rio for the WWE Championship. I thought this was a really good match. I thought it was the best match in the entire pay-per-view. Alberto Del Rio really looked strong in this matchup. They really made him look strong in here, and saying that he could be on par on the level as Punk and John Cena as main eventers. So he really looked strong coming in this pay-per-view. Good match, really back and forth between all three men. Didn't know who was going to win it. And then you had, as John Cena had Alberto Del Rio and the FTF about to make him tap. Alberto's personal announcer, Ricardo Rodriguez, opens up the cage door and breaks up the submission. And John Cena takes Ricardo Rodriguez and gives him the AA outside of the Hell in a Cell cage. And as John Cena turns around, Alberto takes a steel pipe and knocks John Cena out in the head. And so John Cena's so-called knocked out outside of the cell, but Alberto locks the cage, keeping both him and CM Punk inside, but John Cena outside of the cell. And Alberto Del Rio kind of went back and forth along with CM Punk. Alberto hit Punk with the steel pipes a couple of times. Got the pin, and Alberto Del Rio is the new WWE champion. Thank God that Alberto is the champion once again. Now, I am a CM Punk mark. I wanted CM Punk to win, but honestly, realistically speaking, I don't think Punk really needs the WWE Championship right now. Maybe sometime down the line, but as for right now, Punk doesn't need the belt right now. Alberto needs it more than he does. Alberto's finally fulfilled his destiny and is now a two-time WWE champion. Sorry if that was a bad impersonation of ADR, but I just had to do it. But, finally glad, ADR finally got the belt back. Should have thought he never should have lost it in the first place, but that's okay because now it's in the record books that he's a two-time WWE champion. And after the match, the cage rises up, and R-Truth and Miz come out and start beating up John Cena, Punk, and ADR. They're just beating these guys up, and as they're beating them up, the cage, someone closes the cage right back down from the ring, so nobody can get in. And as Miz and R-Truth are beating up everyone inside the ring, Triple H, Johnny Ace, and like all the guys from the WWE roster trying to get in the cage, trying to open it up, couldn't do it. And finally, a guy with some bolt cutters came in, opened up the cage. Cops came in the cage, and they arrested Miz and Truth. And as Miz and Truth were being carried out, Triple H just comes out of nowhere, just bolts and just beats up Miz and R-Truth, beating the crap out of them, which is pretty cool. So after that, the show ended with showing Miz and Truth being carried off by the cops, and the entire roster breaking them up, with Triple H and stuff like that. So all in all, I thought this was a good pay-per-view. I think this was better, in my opinion. I think this pay-per-view was better than Night of Champions, and I don't think it was that bad considering they only had a 2-week build. So yeah, I'd rate this pay-per-view. I'd give it a 2.5. Only reason why I give it a 2.5 is the simple fact that like I said, their Orlando crowd was just dead. The only match that the Orlando crowd was in was the main event match for the WWE Championship. That was the only match that they were interested in, and that was the only match, where it gave you some type of hint that those people, were alive and still breathing. So that's the only reason why I give Hell in a Cell a 2.5 rating, just because that crowd they were not into this pay-per-view whatsoever. So anyway, yeah. So like I said, I give it a passing grade. Like I said, once again, I thought it was a little bit better than Night of Champions, and considering I only had a 2-week build, I didn't think it was that bad. I think it was a passing pay-per-view considering it was only built for 2 weeks. So let me know what you guys thought about the pay-per-view, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. If you like it at all, comment, subscribe, leave a like. Peace out.